महागणपतिं मनसा स्मरामि महादेवमुदं शिरसा नमामि महागणपतिं मनसा स्मरामि।
ॐ दयाकरं दयाकारं दान्तं धर्मप्रवर्तकं प्रणमामि दयानन्दं मदाचार्यवरं परं। हरिः ओं श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओं। Welcome you all. I am already okay. Yes, welcome you all. I am able to see some of you and see this as Alagamaji explained. This yet another session of initiative taken by Arshvidya Research and Publication Trust based at Chennai. We ever since we started the publication, we have expanded our activities in terms of depending on the need of the hour, need of the times. We have moved into digital publications of the same books in terms of Kindle and ebooks, and then we moved to a developed app and further developed recently, make it more friendly, and the audios of Puja Swamiji's talks are all available in the app, and the ebooks are also available. Apart from that, we have also opened a center at Puja Swamiji's birthplace, Manchakuti, Jnana Pravaha. Many of you, the acharyas and students have visited here. It is an exclusive center for Puja Swamiji's teachings, wherein the whole range of from books to digital audios are all available here for users to make use of, and also what you call and the same, along with the Acharya's help, can study take in-depth study of Puja Swamiji's teachings. Almost 44 years of Puja Swamiji's teaching across 6 courses, in 2 in Rishikesh and 2 in Sailasburg and 4 in Anaikatti, and all the e-books and all the what do you call public, some of the public talks, videos, audios are all available in the Jnana Pravaha website. Here, it is all free access here. When you come here, all books and audios are all accessible freely. But outside, wherever you are there, you can get them on a price for the communication to maintain the website and all that. So that also you can go through the website and you'll get to know. Just log in and you'll know what it is happening here, and you will how to order and all that. All the 3 websites details are all available in jnanapravaha.in website. Ashwadhya Research and Publication Trust, evrpt.com. The teachings of Swami Dayananda app from the Google Play Store, and both in iTunes and Android is available. And jnanapravaha.in website these details about Manjakudi and the activities here and the retreats that are happening along with the acharyas and students. Dynamically, it is getting updated also, so that anyone who wants to participate can participate. So further initiatives is weekly we are circulating a Swamiji half-an-hour video to all the students Saturday evening. Apart from that, monthly we are having this session. Monthly, one of the acharyas belonging to the Sampradaya comes online on Zoom and tries to help out the students and devotees to get to know what Swamiji's what you call it, teachings are all about. So today's session, as has been two-liner has been mentioned, like in terms of generally these sessions have been to help people in their human pursuits, and also she said I run a blog called Understanding Life, and also there's the two-liner also talks about purpose of life. So if you look at these 3 words, life, purpose of life, and what do you call pursuit. To look at these things, all the acharyas who come online, generally they've been talking about it, how to make it more holistic, more meaningful in life. How our pursuits can be more meaningful. The Shastra itself talks about, classifies the pursuit into dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. And that is, the dharma is a unique, as a separate purushartha is mentioned in our culture, because even though kama and artha is universal, everyone wants, basically, as we get up from our bed and as we grow from childhood, all of us are interested in Artha and Kama in various forms and varieties. But we have, our culture has something called Dharma. Listen, Dharma again, which is on these words, it is something which has come along with it's a sort of a manual that has come along with our life. Human life otherwise would have been a faulty creation without Dharma matrix. Because Swamiji, and it's also common sense that do unto others as you would like others to do unto you. And typically, even a robber does not want to get robbed. So when that is the way it is, that means that it is something very universal, basic, innate in all of us to have a sense value of dharma. How much we follow it is a different thing. But a value for dharma in the sense our understanding of dharma is very adequate whether we go to school or not. So dharma is an important purushartha. So dharma, artha, kama, and of course moksha meaning basically moksha has got different in different cultures, different even within our own religion, various sects have got various meanings for the word moksha. Moksha in the much dhatu is basically a freedom, just freedom. So the freedom, how you want, how you look at freedom is that is where the differences come even in the philosophies. So the freedom is again, if you look at our own the human life, the freedom also seems to have been we are the only jantu in the sense in the entire gamut of lives species from a worm to a devata. The freedom is something which is again very ingrained in our psyche. That is why we keep looking for it, irrespective of whatever we achieve in life, whether small or young, big or small or poor or rich. That freedom, you don't know, the simple words Shastra talks about. Kartum shakyam, akartum shakyam, anyata va kartum shakyam. In the sense, I can do it this way, I can do it other way, I can do it differently, I need not do. This freedom seems to be there with us all the time. In the sense, suppose I have a glass here, this one is there. I have the freedom to keep it or drop it or keep it, hold it the other way. This seems to be there in the sense, even though the other species also seem to have, but they are restricted in their programming. They can do only that much, not more. Whereas we human beings seem to have 100% degree of freedom in doing even the small activity, even though it looks like very small, but it's the 100% degree of freedom it displays. That means what? So in our human species, even the genetic evolution, we have gone through the sense by inference we can make out, we have gone through the lives of our genes have the lives learnings of all jantus. So because of that, perhaps that we can infer that we have got this degree of freedom, degree of using the freedom to the fullest extent. Swamiji always used to say, the freedom, what is the freedom? If you cannot abuse it, if you cannot disuse it. So that is the sort of freedom we have. We have 100% degree of freedom, meaning we can use it, we can abuse it, we can disuse it. But that gives us the responsibility also that we can use the freedom because we have got the capability to use the freedom. And that is where Dharma comes in very much. So when we look at this, we understand the import of this freedom word. And the Shastra talks about karmanyeva adhikara hate. Swamiji is very eloquent about those verses in Gita, Karma Yoga Sutra Vakya used to say, karmanyeva adhikara hate gives us the 100% freedom in our activities. So, and okay, follow the dharma, and you can have Icha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, all are there. Shakti as Ishvara Swarupa, all of them are there. But we have to temper our Icha Shakti and Kriya Shakti with Jnana Shakti. Because Jnanam, per se, knowledge or information, bolo, knowledge or understanding. But it has to drive the other two, Icha and Kriya. In that case, Icha becomes a Vibhuti. Otherwise, the Jnana part of it is not harnessed properly. It can create problems for us, for others also. So all these things, like in the small and big ways, the Shastra, the Upanishad, the Gita, and the teachings of Swamiji. Swamiji always, any public talk or anything, he always starts with this, all this Purushartha, and he validates all of us in whatever we are doing, why we are doing what we are doing. because we have not harnessed certain things, because in our upbringing we have been after, see, right from the childhood, first thing is how to get our food, how to walk, how to make our limbs strong. This is how we grow up. So we have chosen to know the sense, like our freedom is 100%, the consciousness in us is 100% uninhibited consciousness. That is why, as a child also, you are totally uninhibited. You are any handler is okay. You will go. Even the people in the house have to say, no, no, don't go here, don't go there. But that is given later. That sort of education or whatever you call miseducation, whatever you call it, is given by the society for their own safety and all that. But the child is totally free. It has no inhibition. You can make out the uninhibited consciousness it has. It has got total freedom, as I was telling. But also, it looks like totally, in spite of the genes having all the evolution of all the jantus, all the species, it seems to have started with a clean slate. There again, the clean slate part of it is why? Because there is that it gives you the freedom to, you can choose to know whatever you want to know. You can choose to know any language, or you can choose to know any sports, or you can choose to study whatever it is. You can choose, but the choice also, the freedom is there. But what happens as we grow, as per based on circumstances, whatever you call it, we grow to choose to know only whatever our five senses and whatever our what you call the school, college, and education, job, my family demands. So those are the things we choose to know. Whereas there is also the sense, when we are talking that human being is the most evolved being, and we are everyone says that, then what is this being is all about? That sort of a thing that somehow we take it for granted. No, no, I know I am there very much. See, the thing is that I am. I don't need to ask anybody that I am. So why should I try to know I am? That's it. That's enough. But that I am part of it is known. But what I am, somehow we take it for granted. Whatever we have associated ourselves with our body, mind, senses, name, Aadhaar card, and job, etc., etc., we associate ourselves and build an identity. And sometimes the ego also steps in and gives a boost to the whole thing, and we go in that direction. But instead of looking at the being, what we are talking about, what is that being? So that is where the topic is. What I mentioned briefly is the paradigm shift, which is Swami also used to say, like even science, all developments in science also, even though incremental research keeps happening, but the breakthroughs happen by leapfrogging only. It doesn't happen in what do you call it, just incremental. It is leapfrogging, the paradigm shift only really brings in breakthroughs in science also. In same way, I feel that Swamiji also, in all his talks, even though he starts with validating all our activities, dharma, kama, generally, but at some point in time, he will take us to, you have to look at it very seriously, that he will say, why you are not able to sit with yourself? You don't have to look at it. The sense, for you to become sad, you don't need anything else. You just be yourself for some time. You will somehow feel uncomfortable. Then immediately go for a mobile or whatever it is. Why it is happening? That sort of a fundamental questions we never ask. And we always think that everything is outside. Whatever we need to, artha, kama, dharma, everything comes from outside. So we never for one moment think, what is it? Maybe it is there with us. I'm just looking for it outside. And he used to give a beautiful example that a rich lady lost her necklace inside the house and came out and started searching. And a lot of people joined because she's a rich lady and she's looking for a diamond necklace. And after a thorough search, after for 15, 20 minutes or half an hour, all of them used to ask, hey, we are searching so much, how come it's not available here? Then they asked, where did you lose? She said, I lost it inside the house. Then why are you searching here? No, no, the light is not there inside. That is why I'm searching here. So if you look at this example, that seems to be the case with all of us, even though it looks, when you anecdotally, it looks like very funny, but it looks like we are maybe there is a possibility. With even that possibility, we don't look at that. We are maybe basically what we are looking for, the complete the freedom, the fullness, self-fulfillment, whatever it is we are looking for in our artha, kama, dharma, and moksha pursuits. The fulfillment we are asking for, and maybe it is already there. And also, if you look at this, is again one paradigm shift we have to look at. Anything and everything, we don't want anything halfway. All our pursuits want everything infinite. In the sense, satisfaction full, knowledge full. Even we cannot, even when we go on the road, something happens in a group of people, immediately we poke our nose and try to find out what is happening there, because we cannot be without any knowledge anywhere. So knowledge we want full, happiness we want full, and even longevity. Everyone knows whatever is born is going to be gone. But no, I would like to be live one more day. So there again, our longevity wants to be full. So that means we don't have, we as human beings cannot stop at anything halfway. We want everything full. And our faculties, as we know, body, mind, senses are our faculties, being limited, they've been put together in the sense, Shastra goes eloquent about how this whole thing is a limited setup, the body or mind or senses, whatever you call it, however intelligent you are, it is limited. So, with a limited setup, how are you going to get this fullness or limited and unlimited infinite? So, there seems to be it's a non-starter. And recognizing this, that with the limited one, we cannot achieve the infinite, that recognition itself is a paradigm shift. Then that means we are not working in the right direction. Even though we are, all our, whatever we are doing is helping us in getting along with life, but our fundamental pursuit is not answering. So that means that there is a necessity for a paradigm shift in our, it's what they call out of the box thinking, bolo, or some 360 degrees thinking and all that. We have to really look at our lives in a very different manner. And Swamiji and the Shastra, I have got some quotes also. And suppose some questions come, I can give those quotes. So, Upanishads and Puji Swamiji himself, even though he validates everything, and suddenly he will definitely step out and go to the Pramana, and he will say, the Pramana, the teachings of the Upanishads they are so very clear. They just say that you are right now, as you are talking, you are the awareful being. This is the simplest way Swamiji used to tell. And Shastra tells also in simpler ways, and maybe in Sanskrit, in different Upanishads and also in Mahavaikyas. It says, you right now, here and now, you are the awareful being. That is your basic identity. Without that identity, you are identifying yourself with your body, mind, senses, or your roles, or your samskara, whatever you call it. Everything else but this being. The being meaning here see, anything that we are talking about the limited is limited in terms of what? Time, space, and object. So say an object has its parameters of time and space, P1, T1, P2, T2, whatever you call it. So the object, time, and space seems to be our identity. Whereas here Shastra, Swamiji, these teachings, he says this is the Sabda Pramana, this is the Vedanta as a Pramana means this is the Pramana. Like your eyes are the Pramana for what you see, here the Vedanta is a Pramana only to tell you that you are the timeless, spaceless, objectless being. Right now, here as I say it, the being is the reality, your reality. The being is my reality. Everything else is transactional. This is the paradigm. In the sense, he says it in so many words, and the whole Shastra is around that in terms of, okay, there can be some doubt. How is it possible? From there it starts. How is it possible? How can be a timeless, a spaceless being, not even an object? And everything, science, everything is empirical, is possible, empiricality is possible, knowledge, information, data, everything depends on a time bound or a space bound. Okay, maybe big or small, whatever you call it, whether it is Anu or Mahat, big atom or a small nucleus or a hydrogen, whatever you call it, there is a dimension. Some differently, it's all moving. Moving means there is time and space is there, relativity is there. So time, space, and objectification we are all seeing through the microscope or through the telescope. Without that, how anything, in the sense you cannot say that your reality is a being. That means without any time and space and object parameters coordinates, this is it is what do you call it? It's more than a time bomb or more than an atom bomb. It is in terms of understanding. How is it? So, so what I would, in the sense, I appeal through this discussion is this. This is the paradigm shift. We can we can look at right away. We can look at, and if you look at the Shastra, nowhere as we move along in the Shastra, whether it is Shravanam or Mananam or contemplation, everywhere you find that this part of it is very much it is getting consolidated, and all your what do you call, your lifestyle, your even your yoga, your meditation, everything seems to be creating a is meant for creating an internal infrastructure wherein you will have the sufficient space and the inner leisure to own up this reality. If you can, the whole yoga, the whole what you call, even karma kanda, the Vedas and even the rituals and yoga, meditation, whatever you call it, everything seems to be driving our internal infrastructure, get ready, prepared mind to get rid of our hang-ups in terms of, first in terms of our likes and dislikes, then in terms of our own having got rid of, okay, likes and dislikes. All of us know, like, likes and dislikes can take us for a ride. You have to ensure that they are tempered with dharma and all. It's fine, but again, dharma means what is dharma for you is not dharma for somebody else, some other culture. So we get buffeted. What is dharma? There again, there's a problem there. So we keep working on that. What is dharma? What is really appropriate? Swamiji always used to say, let us look at it. In today's world, we should say what is appropriate to the given situation is dharma. You don't try to say that the dharma should have 1, 2, 3, 4 and all that. What is appropriate to the given situation in terms of samanya dharma? That means you don't hurt the other fellow and the other fellow doesn't hurt you. You don't allow the other fellow to hurt you. That samanya dharma, and vishesha dharma is what is appropriate in a given culture. If you have all of the people around the table are using fork and spoon, you also use fork and spoon. Don't use your hand because it may hurt the other fellow. This sort of a vishesha dharma also can be called dharma. So follow all that. Those things are all fine. Those that keeps our life going and sane, and that doesn't stop us. In the sense, right now when I am talking about the awareful being as the reality, I am talking, you are all listening, we are using computer, we are a lot of technology we are using. So none of these things are stopping just because I say reality is just the awareful being. All these transactions keep happening. Likewise, dharma also will keep happening. Likewise, we will be going to hotels, we will be going to movies. All those things will be happening. But it doesn't preclude having this understanding or looking at ourselves as the awareful being, because if you remember, what is our fundamental pursuit? The fundamental pursuit, 100% degree of freedom and infinite in everything. We don't want to be we want to be living on a day more all the time, want to be happy all the time, want to be full. And here there's an opportunity that if it is your reality is a timeless, spaceless being, not even an object, you are never less or more for that matter. So why can't we right now have a holistic view of this and pursue this? How is it? How, Shastra has gives, like Mandukya Upanishad or Katha Upanishad, Swamiji's teachings. You go through very with a lot of diligence. You go into Puja Swamiji's teachings also. You will elaborately talk about the Niyati, Ishvara, how Ishvara Aradhana and Puja and other things. But ultimately, he will say, even finally, you are a devotee. when you go to a temple, you go only as a devotee, not as a father, son, employee, employer, student, etc. Just go there as a devotee. And there is the Bhagavan is there. Devotee and Bhagavan is only a relationship. Bhagavata, and very passionately used to say, Bhagavata and Bhagavan is a relationship. Okay. Now, simply speaking, there we go and say, everything, all our, whatever we think is glory, we offer unto the Bhagavan. All milk and honey and the gold, the vairam, everything, diamond, everything we offer. And whatever we think is valuable in life, we offer. So, and we also say, Tanu manu sab kuch tera hai. Meaning everything, my mind, my body, my senses, all belong to you. And Bhagavan also has given all the things in the Pratima, and all the glories are all available for us to offer there. So now there is a giver, a given, a receiver. When everything given, what we can think of, Veshti and Samashti, individual and total, everything has come on the table. The other side, the giver is the being. This side, the receiver is the being. And the final arati at the end of the puja, that Nirajanam, what we talked about, is it shines. Rajanam, Rajati means shines. Nirajanam means shines. Shines what? The arati, Karpura, what it does? The indicates the oneness between the being here and the Ishvara, the being on the other side. Even the Karpura vanishes, leaving the light of oneness. So this oneness also indicates this, the reality of the being is the reality of the Supreme. And only now the question is the being, which is the reality of you as well as the reality of Ishvara. How is it? How is it all that is tangible, so-called tangible, what we see, we relate, we transact, what I see, what I am talking to you today, the computer is there, whatever the person I am talking to, he has been for 1 hour or half an hour, he is there, very much there, he is not lost anywhere. And he is there with so many parameters, like he looks like this, he is in time and space, he is, I'm available, I'm able to discuss with him. In spite of, how can I say that the timeless, spaceless being is the reality of Ishvara and you meaning all of you. And even the plants and animals for them, even the reality of them also is the same being. Then what is this all about? Yeah, what is this all about is, I have a certain thing to say, in the sense, we say, no, when an atom explodes, it gives lot of energy and matter. When something smaller, nucleus explodes, it gives much more than what atom explosion happens. And further down, hydrogen explodes, it gives much more. So if you, by extrapolation, you can see the smaller, Anuron Aniyan, the Shastra talks about Anuron Aniyan Mahato Mahiyan. And the smaller the particle, its vibhuti or its manifestation is huge. So I, the being, Vishwara, the being, the timeless, spaceless, and objectless being, when it explodes, this is what the world, Jagat we confront, is what is the vibhuti of this being. So this all logically also it makes sense, because this is coming out of the being, which is timeless, spaceless, objectless. Naturally, it cannot be static, because continuously it has to keep moving, because there is no real particle, like one science also, there is no particle, there is no wave, there is no quantum, everything is indeterminate. That's in science is nowadays trying to come to terms with consciousness and all that. They want some empirical, it is not going to happen. But they are moving fast from there is nothing, neither a particle nor a wave, there is no quantum, everything is intangible, and the probability of a creation not being there is more probable than a creation being there. All those things are they saying. So what exactly it means is, the whole thing, what we call the transacting world, is just a vibhuti of this timeless, spaceless being, but kept in motion. Because it is kept in motion, it gives an appearance of tangibility, so that we are able to transact. It is a vibhuti, it's a glory. And why? How can it be so glorious? Because yes, it is the smallest, the smaller than the smallest. So infinitely small, meaning what? It is not, doesn't have any dimension. That is the being, our being, and that is Ishvara's being also. So you can, to be modest, you can say it's Ishvara's being, or you can say your being. And the Shastra finally says Ishvara Aham Brahma Asmi. So the being is the reality which explodes like this into the Jagat or cosmos or galaxies, known and unknown, everything you can say. And there is no limit. Infinite is its glory and keeps changing. And it will be changing. There's no point in crying that changing will keep changing. Changeless only you. And that is why you say some war is happening, something is happening, the religions are coming together, religions are breaking together, sects are happening. So many things breaking to coming together. Sun, lot of fusions are going on, lot of fissions are going on, and together makes a sun. So keeps on changing because it has to, because there is no real particle, there is no wave, there is no quantum, there is no being, there is no object, only the being. So it has to keep changing to make it appear as if we are dealing with the world. We also know our morning world is different from the evening world, and your world is different from my world. And also Shastra beautifully in explaining Mithya, Shastra is very excellent because it can easily tell what is not there before, what will not be there later. It's only appearing now. It cannot be an existence. That is one rule. Then what is put together will always come apart. That is second rule. And what is Drishya? Anything you see is limited. And you are the only unlimited. And you are Nirvisesha, is being. That is why you are able to see every Visesha. Like Swamiji always used to say, see, when you are moving the hand from here to here to here to here, every movement, like in a pixel, is a frame. But you are able to move from here to here, the total pixel of that previous moment is completely gone out of your mind. That is why you are able to see the hand now here. So you are basically Nirvisesha. Nothing, like even in the mirror, that nothing sticks. In the same way, in your being, nothing sticks. That is why you are able to, being your Nirvisesha, you are able to deal with all the Vishesha all the time. And even memory is only a convenience so that you don't eat your lunch twice, not to hold grudges. He says it is the presence is only reality. And Shastra also, Vartamane let, Panini says there is no present tense is not there. That is why he is given so many words. Presence is the only reality. And future and past are all, listen, just imagine right now, we see all of them. Just now what we see is only presence. And even when you really scrutinize, if you say when you are in a dark room, like in the sense, a good well-decorated room is totally dark. Now you move in. You move in, first thing what you do, put on the light. Then when you ask what you see, you start counting the objects. But we forget that first once we put on what we see is only light. We take it for granted. We don't see object, we see just light. Even as I am talking, what we see is only light. The light that comes off you only I see. I don't see you. And Mandika Karika beautifully says, nothing, you don't touch or you don't see or don't hear or anything. Everything is happening inside. Antastam. And in dream also same thing is happening. What is the difference between the dream and waking? Everything is happening in the antastam in waking also. And that becomes the basis for your dream also. So in dream, yeah, you are coming out of the dream and say, no, everything was only light, dream light. Nothing really was not there. Even though I was sweating, and because of the sweating, I got up because I was fearful in that dream. But once you come out, you laugh it off. Like even in the movie. Because the movie also what happens? You see only the screen, present screen, lighted screen. And the previous scene, the previous pixel is gone. The next pixel comes, but you see only the present. But the whole story, how it comes out? Because of your memory. You connect the story half an hour back, what happened before, and say, no, the story is moving very well now. So for your memory, you are paying the director. He uses your memory and he gets paid. But what you see is only the current screen. Like even in the dream. And that is same thing is happening in waking also. Why? Because the whole thing is a clever man's bluff, Swamiji used to say. It all looks like Upalambat, Samachara, Saprayojanavatvat. It is available for transaction. It is available. It is available for transaction. It seems to be having some utility all the time. So you think that it is tangible, but it is not so. It is just dikava, what they call in Hindi. It doesn't really, there's nothing really out there because it's not possible. The being, which is timeless, spaceless, objectless, how can give something with dimension? But can appear. That is the glory of the being. If we are able to get into this paradigm, and yeah, the Shastra definitely helps us. Swamiji's teaching himself helps us. He is eloquent about Ishvara and validation and everything. Appears as tangible outside. At the same time, he handholds us to understand this as the only pramana. Vedanta as the only pramana means one sentence. You are the aware being. And that's what I got when I was 20 years old. Till day I am now 70 almost. So 50 years that teaching has held me together as a person. And I don't see any contradiction. The whole vibhuti, the whole variety is like a movie. It's happening. And just play your role. That's what Bhagavan says. Nimitta matram bhava savyasachi in Gita. Just put the arrow on the bow and everything else will be taken care of. Don't think you are doing anything. That he tells the great archer called Savyasachi. He gives his glory to him also, calls him ambidextrous archer, but still he tells him Nimitta matram bhava. Just put arrow on your bow, everything will happen. You are not doing anything. Because there is nothing to do, honestly speaking. Ajopi sanna, avya atma bhi sanna, bhutanam ishwaropi sanna, prakritim swam adhishtaya sambhavami atma maya. In Gita, in the 4th chapter, Bhagavan tells him, Ajopi sanna, neither you are born nor born, I am born. Because there is nothing to sense. There should be some object, not to be born or there is nothing. There is only the being. So Ajopi sanna, avyayam. Avyayam means it doesn't improve or it doesn't diminish. Because timeless, spaceless being, how can it diminish or improve? So Ajopi sanna, avyaya atma bhi sanna, bhutanam, that is the bhutanam ishwaropi sanna. Avyaya atma, he says. Avyaya brahma, he doesn't say. Atma. Atma means you and I. Atma is self. Bhutanam ishwaropi sanna. Prakritim swam adhishtaya. Next sentence. Prakritim swam adhishtaya is what I am talking about as the explosion of the being. Prakritim swam adhishtaya. Hand holding that, Prakritim swam adhishtaya, keeping it in my wielding that, Prakritim swam adhishtaya, sambhavami atma maya. The word, the variety, what you see is atma maya. Maya meaning yama samaya. Yama sama meaning what is not there appears. Yama, that which is not there. Sama. Sa means what? Appears. But yama is the reality. No, it is something like very much like the Sunyavada or void or nothingness. How can from nothing everything can come? I don't say nothing. I say no thing. No within inverted commas thing. No thing means being. Being is the reality. Right now, all of us we are talking, we can see the being. That is why we are able to see what is happening in my mind, what is happening in my emotion, what is happening in my intellect, what is happening in my body. Everything I am able to see because I am the being. If I am colored by any one of them, like even only in a plain glass, you can see color. If the plain glass itself is colored, it will that background will obviate or vitiate the color that is put on that. So only a colorless glass can give you colored liquid properly, the original color of that liquid. So Nirvishesha is the reality and Vishesha is the Vibhuti. And it is so said in so many words. Everywhere in Shastra it is said. So I think this is the sort of why I am telling this as a paradigm shift, because we generally, generally in Shastra also we get into too many details, get to know so many things. Let's get lost in the details. But the pramana, Shuddha pramana, we think that it will come at the end of the tunnel. It is somewhere, light is at the end of the tunnel. We what do you call? We romanticize it. Our understanding of life, we romanticize. We don't want to get it upfront. No, then we will, "Hey, if I get it upfront, what will happen? How will I be motivated?" Even as I am talking right now, nothing is happening. If you are hungry, you are going to go and eat. If you are thirsty, you are going to go and drink. If somebody comes, you are going to receive him. You are going to give him food. All these things are phenomenal things that will happen. We think we took unnecessarily take we call ourselves responsible by denying a truth. Somehow, I don't know. It is universal. It is not you and me. Very well, it is like that. But I feel that our Shastra, Puji Swamiji, have been very compassionate, very truthful, and hand-holding us to this truth. He always used to say, when you come into the room, when you go out, you must go, you and I are one and the same. My understanding should be as good as your understanding. Otherwise, I'm not a good teacher. He used to tell. So I feel this is how life has to move on. That is how I call it paradigm shift. Yes, Shastra is there, teaching is there, Acharyas are there. They're all telling it in so many ways. And they want us to, because the whole thing is, this is something, this is inquiry. It is not, I tell and you listen and go. No. Because it is the reality. That is the whole teaching is you. Swamiji always says Vedanta equal to you. You are the one subject matter. And unless you claim it, the teaching is not complete. So that being the case, so very much you are the topic. So you have to see the reality of it, and it is definitely a paradigm shift, no doubt. Because anything and everything throughout our life, we always look at time-bound, space-bound, object-bound things. That is what we think that reality. The reality means it must involve time-bound, space-bound, object-bound. Whether it is cosmos or galaxies or even atom, even the fundamental boson particle, we are still looking for it. They are looking for it. They are not giving up. They are looking for empirical. Empirical means what? It has to be put in a frame. And even when we deal with people also, we like to put them in a frame. I don't, when I'm talking to Narayan Kamath, I have an idea. This is the frame of Narayan I'm dealing. I'm not really dealing with, I don't know, honestly. The being is the only reality I can know. Everything else is in between. Narayan Kamath, what I see on the screen, and the Narayan Kamath in himself is totally different. If at all there is some truth, only the being. So it is, when that is the case, why can't we harness the truth? And there lies, okay, there can be a corollary benefit in this. Once we have this freedom to one of this being as a reality, whatever happens, the changing things happen, changes. You will not look at it as Ishtam, Manishtam, the opposites. And there again, Shastra very clearly says, opposites mean Mithya. That means it is not the truth. Opposites mean. And everything, manifestation is Nitya. Because it can unmanifest. So unmanifest to manifest, manifest to unmanifest. Born is gone. Is Nitya. So very easily, you can easily dismantle the whole transacting world as Nitya. Very simple. Only thing is, it dismantles and leaves it at that. For you to one of this Satyam, because it cannot point out. It cannot, Satyam cannot be pointed out. That being, the awareful being, that timeless, spaceless, objectless being, even Shastra cannot point. That is why, fortunately, it says Swata Siddha. Shastram, Siddham to Nivartakatvat Shastram. Shastram only Nivartakam. What is Nivartakam? All your wrong notions about yourself. And Siddham. Siddham means what? It's already there. That at least they have recognized. And of course, they try to even tell you, right, what I am trying to tell, what is aware from being. Desa kala vastu aparichinnam, satyam jnanam anantam brahma. All limitations. Use the words which you have been using and remove the limitations. So that you are left with the limitless. Just by implication. That is why it says it is not vachyartham, it is lakshyartham. Only by implication you can understand reality. Well, because words, vacharambanam, vikaro, namadeyam, they are all just like even as I was telling the variety, vacharambanam keeps changing. Continuously it keeps changing. And words can do only that much, can't help it. But by implication, by lakshyartham, we can, because it is you. Fortunately, it is you. It is your reality. Swami always to say, you are self-evident. Everything else is evident to the self. He used the word evident is evident, self-evident. The word coined by him very meaningfully. He said, it's a vibhuti I got to use this word, self-evident. Because it doesn't need any. You definitely, obviously, this is Swata Siddham. Shastra himself says Swata Siddham. Also, what it says is even the Sarvajnaha. Okay, Swata Siddham, that is fine. But what about this Sarvam? The Sarvam, Sarvajnahan, even that Sarvajnaha, you are being, the Ishvara Swarupam is Sarvajnaha. How can it be Sarvajnaha? Because the Sarvajnaha, the word, has got, Swamiji used to say, it has got a Madhyama Pada Lopa Samasa, meaning in between Sarvam Kalpitaha Jaha. Sarvam Kalpita Jna. Because in between the Kalpita, it's all the whole, whatever we call Sarvam is only imagination. It's not reality. So naturally you can be a Sarvajna. What's the big deal? Because everything is anyway like a movie or a dream, whatever you call it. Even daydream, just imagine. Daydream also we do. So much we can do. My God, we go to stars and come back. So that can be the reality. So Sarvajna, why can't we? You can easily be Sarvajna because anyway Kalpitam. So this is what I wanted to share the evening. There are a lot of what do you call it? Definitely it needs to be reinforced with Shastra and all of you are teaching. So many acharyas are teaching. Can also, when if you interested, I can do some quotes also from Katha Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, Gita, as I was telling. Bhagavan is very clear. In 20 verses, he just dismissed Arjuna. There's no big deal. Everything happens, whatever happens has to happen. You do your part. Because anyway, it's all changing. Changing things will changing. Asocyan Anvasochastam starts. It's not worth grieving over. It's changing. How can you grieve that something is changing when everything is going to change? Better see the reality of it. That is why he says, Nanusochanti Pandita. Person who is wisdom will not grieve. Because there is nothing to grieve, honestly. Asocyan Anvasochastam Prajnam Vadams. Even though when he lamented Arjuna in the whole first chapter, he built up logically why he cannot do the war. So he says, Pragyam Vadamscha Bhasase. You talk as if you are a great wise person. But Asochan Anvasochastam. It's not worth grieving over. And Nanusochanti Panditaha. Pandita will never grieve over like this. He opens the dialogue, opens the teaching with an atom bomb. And he finally also, Sarva Dharman Parityajna, Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, Ahantva Sarva Papebhyaha, Mokshayisyami, Masuchaha, nothing to grieve. He closes the 18th chapter, 18.66, with the same Masuchaha, nothing to grieve over. After the elaborate teaching. Well, what is there? When the being is the reality, what is that to grieve over? And so many places, he says, that's why he says, na saddo vidyate bhavaha, na bhavo vidyate sataha, ubayorapi drishtantaha, drishtontaha, tu anayoho tattvadarshibhihi. He says, what is sat, what is changeless, will never have abhava. And what is changing will never have bhava. Changing only appears. No, it doesn't have a satta. And satta, what is sat, will never be asat. So that is how it is. You are sat, everything else is appearance. Now what about Ishvara? Yes, Ishvara also. Ishvara knows that you don't know. That's why he says, if you know what I know, you can also call yourself as Avatara. Swami used to say. Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, if you know what I know, then you can also call yourself Avatara. I know, I'm also living among the same war. Your own people, my people, there's nothing like that. All of us are in the same boat. But I know the reality. And you refuse to see the reality. So I think it's very, very wonderful. If any of you have any questions right now also, we can discuss that. Or you can contact me. All our publications, jnanaprabha.in, the teachings of Swami Dayananda, everywhere my contact number is available. And of course, all acharyas are there. All Gurkulams have the acharyas. Any of them will be able to clarify any doubts you have on these things. But let us, no, this is something, our life, human life is not to be.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Yes.
Swamiji, I got a question on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Somebody wanted to know more about the workshops and camps in Manjakudi and how.
Yeah, jnanaprabha.in retreat calendar tells which acharya, which date, what subject matter. They have to. I've sent you a write-up, no? You can share it with them.
Yeah, I just did. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And somebody else would like to know, would you be able to share the details of Swamiji's weekly Bhagavad Gita? Oh, that's for me, I think.
Yeah, it's there. Already there. We can add, if she sends a WhatsApp number, we can include her in the Puja series group.
Okay.
Then it will automatically come to her.
Okay.
Yes, thank you all for patient listening. Maybe some of you are all very well versed also. Please feel free to have any, if at all, any differences are there. If there is any gap, you can always get back to me.
Thank you so much.
Approach.
May just have a closing prayer, Swamiji, please.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om